This is the Ramana Maharshi Satsang. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself. Welcome. I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. Ramana's teaching is deep and profound, and I just want to share it. I'm reading and commenting now on the Ashtavakra Gita. Today is chapter 18, verses 1 through 4. And in this chapter, Ashtavakra is talking about peace. Praise that which is bliss itself, which is by nature stillness and light, and which by its knowing reveals the world as a dream. One may enjoy the abundant pleasures of the world, but will never be happy until giving them up. How can one whose innermost heart has been scorched by the sun of sorrow that comes from duty be happy until the sweet rain of torrential stillness? The universe is but a thought in consciousness. In reality, it is nothing. One who sees that the true nature of existence and non-existence never ceases to exist. So let's break down these verses where he discusses peace. 18:1. Praise that which is bliss itself, which is by nature stillness and light, and which by its knowing reveals the world as a dream. This verse points to the nature of the self as pure bliss, stillness, and illumination. This is not something to be comprehended cognitively, but rather to be known by direct experience. The self does not change or waver, but remains ever present beyond the fluctuations of thought and perception. By recognizing this, you see the world as a passing illusion that holds no ultimate reality. When you stop identifying with transient experiences and instead abide in the self, the weight of worldly concerns dissolves, leaving only peace. If you're seeking clarity in spiritual practice, Ashtavakra calls you to rest in the stillness that is already present. He encourages you to shift attention from the world's impermanence to the unchanging awareness that knows it. The sense of separateness fades as you recognize that true knowledge is not in intellectual grasping, but in resting in what you already are. 18:2. One may enjoy the abundant pleasures of the world, but will never be happy until giving them up. This verse does not condemn pleasure, but points out that lasting happiness does not come from external experiences. No matter how much pleasure you accumulate, a subtle restlessness remains, always seeking more. True contentment arises only when attachment to pleasure and its pursuit is abandoned. This does not mean rejecting life, but seeing through the illusion that anything external can complete you. Where do you find lasting happiness? Within. So dive within. If you find yourself caught in the cycle of seeking and dissatisfaction, this verse invites you to examine what is truly fulfilling. By letting go of the belief that anything outside you will bring lasting happiness, you open yourself to a deeper peace that is independent of circumstances. 18:3. How can one whose innermost heart has been scorched by the sun of sorrow that comes from duty be happy until the sweet rain of torrential stillness? The burdens of responsibility and duty can create a deep sense of exhaustion and suffering. It feels like they can never be put down. Ashtavakra acknowledges this weight but offers a solution: stillness. This is not inactivity, but a profound inner quiet, free from striving. When you rest in this stillness, the sorrows caused by obligation lose their grip, and an effortless peace takes their place. If duty and responsibility feel overwhelming, this verse reminds you that relief does not come from more effort, but from surrendering to stillness. When you stop resisting what is and simply allow yourself to be, the tension dissolves and joy arises naturally. 18:4. The universe is but a thought in consciousness. In reality, it is nothing. One who sees the true nature of existence and non-existence never ceases to exist. Ashtavakra reveals that what you perceive as the universe is only an appearance within consciousness. The moment you wake from a dream, the dream world vanishes. Likewise, the physical world is no more real than a passing thought. When you recognize this, the fear of birth and death disappears because you see that your existence is not tied to form or time. You are the consciousness and existence that light up the transient body and mind. They are born and so will die. Were you ever born? If fear of loss, change, or death troubles you, this voice points to the truth that you're beyond all of it. consciousness is untouched by what appears and disappears. By recognizing that your existence is not confined to what you experience with the body and mind, you move beyond fear into abiding peace. These verses illuminate the nature of the self as stillness, bliss, and eternal awareness. They reveal that happiness does not come from the external world, but from releasing attachments and resting in what is always present. By recognizing the fleeting nature of experience, you free yourself from suffering and awaken to the unchanging truth of your own existence. Now we have a video from Nome, Sahaja Stithi, total peace and stillness.
Sri Bhagavan speaks of self-realization as Sahaja Stithi, which means abidance in or as that which is natural, that which is innate, calling self-realization the natural state. If it is innate, if it is truly natural, then it is indeed what you are. What is it that is natural? What is it that is innate? Certainly, certainly that which appears and disappears, which has birth and death, or coming and going, cannot be innate. For what is innate is ever existent. What is this natural state? It cannot be anything bodily. For the body is not always. What is natural or innate is always the case for you and is continuous. That is, what is innate must be your very existence. What then is your existence? It should not be defined in terms of the body or attributes of the body, such as a sense perceiver or a performer of activity. What is innate? Or what is your very existence? As no thought is changeless and continuous, your existence must be other than thought. And the natural state must be mind transcendent, just as it is transcendent of the body. The very idea of I comes and goes. It cannot be innate. For what is innate is continuous and immutable. Existence itself is evidently innate. And it is not possible to separate yourself from it, though the illusion of an ego is just such imagination. That which exists, that which is existence itself, is the reality. While that which was previously described as discontinuous and changeful is actually entirely unreal. The reality is evidently the innate. If it is the reality, if it is your existence, what is the significance of abidance, Stithi, abidance or establishment as that? There are not two selves, two existences, that one could be or not be another. Abidance is knowledge, self-knowledge, which is neither a sense perception nor a mental conception. Such knowledge is of the very nature of being. For the knowledge to be eternal, and thus truly of a liberating nature, or realization as we call it must be ever existent. It must be innate. So this is not knowledge in the sense that one knows something. This is non-objective knowledge, in which the self that is known and the self that knows and the knowing itself are all identical. How is one to abide in the innate? Since the innate, or knowledge, self-knowledge, is not to be attained anew, the spiritual practice involves the destruction of delusion. Delusion takes the form of misidentification, as with individuality, with the mind, with the body, and everything else that is not actually natural to you. The destruction of misidentification is not the destruction of any real thing, but simply a cessation of imagination. Such is the dissolution of ignorance. The unreal never is. The real always is. The not-self is never yourself, and yourself can never be otherwise. Therefore, to find self-realization and to realize it to be the only existent one, the reality, inquire, who am I? That which is supremely glorious, that which is perfectly blissful, that which is of the nature of existence, consciousness, and happiness, finding which supreme peace ever is. That which is truly God, Brahman itself. That is what you are. That is the innate. Find out who you are.
So now we're going to take a few minutes to find out who we are. You exist. Notice that you exist and you know that you exist. And inquire, investigate within yourself. When I set aside all thoughts of the world, what remains? Have my moments of pleasure ever brought lasting peace? What happens when I stop trying to fix my suffering or my troubles and simply observe them? Since everything I experience is just a passing thought, what is it that never changes? I exist. Who am I? I exist. What am I? What's the nature of my existence? All right. And we'll close with that chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. All right.
All that comes out of me is wow.
Yeah, those are some wonderful verses.
Mm.
Yes, now we will see what we think about the chapter on peace. There are 100 verses.
Hmm.
So I think he thinks it's important.
You know, there was one verse that was reminding me of Yoga Vashishta, where Rama is instructed to carry out his duties, but within be totally detached.
Mm-hmm. That's right. He said duties can be tough if you're attached to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that's the Yoga Vashishta, that's also the same as the Bhagavad Gita, right? That's what
Right.
it's saying.
That's absolutely the same thing.
Mhm. Yeah. Mm. And then to have that period at the end after Nomi's beautiful talk, to just
Yes,
turn within and to inquire and just to be turned within, just so peaceful, so beautiful.
yes, yes, it was good for me too.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm glad we do this.
me too. Me
Me
too.
too.
Wonderful. Thank you for all the preparation, and you're breaking them all down and everything, and wonderful to see both of you.
Wonderful to see you as well. And the my attitude is the whole thing. The preparation and the sessions are gifts from the universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you, universe.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing the gift.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.